You've walked past a mirror and not quite recognized yourself. Not because anything's wrong, but because your hair just isn't telling the right story anymore. That happens. It happens to a lot of us. And most of the time, it's not about age, it's about the cut. The wrong shape can flatten your features, drain your color, and make the whole face read older than it is. The right one does the opposite. It lifts. It frames. It puts you back in the picture. 7 haircuts. That's what this is. 7 shapes that work specifically for the face, the bone structure, and the hair texture that most of us are dealing with at 60 plus. Not trends. Not what's on a 35-year-old influencer. Cuts that actually do something. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes, and the best fixes, for women over 50 so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Haircut 1. The textured French bob/haircut 2. The soft pixie with grown-out layers. Here's something most women don't know about the French bob. It was originally designed not for style, but for proportion. In early 20th century couture, it was a structural decision. A shape meant to balance a longer neck and stronger jaw. That architecture still works, and at 60 plus, it works harder than almost any other cut on the menu. The textured French bob sits right at the jaw, sometimes a touch below, depending on your bone structure. And it's the texture that's doing the real work here, not the length. A blunt bob at this age can sit heavy and pull the face downward. But when your stylist adds point cut texture throughout the perimeter and builds in internal layers, the hair moves. It catches light at different angles. That movement is what reads as vitality. The fix is specific. Ask your stylist to underdirect the perimeter sections, meaning they angle the scissors downward while cutting, which builds weight at the sides and lets the ends curve slightly inward around the jaw. Then ask for point cut texture every 2 inches through the mid-length. No thinning shears. Thinning shears at 60 plus remove the wrong weight and leave ends that look sparse. Point cutting is a completely different technique. It keeps the density while breaking up the line. The snapback moment comes when you see this cut with your face. The jaw length hits right where most of us have started to experience a bit of softening in the lower face. That curved-in perimeter visually tightens what's there. People don't notice the structure doing its job. They just think you look sharp. Maintenance on this cut is every 6 to 8 weeks, and that's actually one of its gifts. The shape grows out gracefully because the texture keeps working even as the length creeps. You don't hit an awkward phase the way you do with a blunt cut. It just extends. Now, the soft pixie with grown-out layers is a completely different animal, and I want to address the fear around it first. Most women over 60 who've thought about a pixie have been talked out of it. By a partner, by a friend, by a stylist who defaulted to "Are you sure?" The hesitation is understandable. A tight, close-cropped pixie can be harsh on mature features. But that's not this cut. The soft pixie with grown-out layers keeps length at the crown, usually 2 to 3 inches, and lets the sides and nape sit close but not shaved. The result is volume exactly where you need it. Up top, lifting the crown, creating height that draws the eye upward. Here's the part your stylist might not explain. The grown-out layer technique means the crown hair is cut with a slightly longer guide than the sides, then layered backward, not forward. When you layer backward, the hair sits up and away from the face rather than falling toward it. That direction is everything. Forward layered crowns at this length can flatten down against the head and make the whole cut look like a helmet. Backward layers give you the lift, the openness, the face framing width at the top that balances a narrower lower face. The before/after on this one is dramatic. Women who've been wearing a flat, shapeless shortcut for years, one that's grown past its last trim and lost all definition, and then had this cut shaped properly, consistently say the same thing. They get asked if they've had work done. They haven't. It's the crown volume doing it. Ask your stylist for a soft pixie, crown length 2+ inches, backward layered at the top, nape tapered, not shaved. Get a diffused blow dry with a small round brush just at the crown to set that upward direction. Then a light hold clay, not a spray, not a serum, just at the roots to keep the lift through the day. 2 cuts. 2 completely different structural approaches. What they share. They both use shape and direction, not color, not product, not anything you're buying, to change the way your face reads in a room. Part 2 is where it gets into lengths, because mid-length is where most of us live, and most of us are wearing our mid-length hair in a way that's actually working against us. I'll show you the 2 cuts that fix that right after this. Haircut 3. The shag cut with curtain bangs / haircut 4. The layered lobs. The shag cut has a reputation problem. For a lot of women over 60, it reads as something from a 1970s rock album. And that's fair, because the original shag was exactly that. But the version that's been reclaimed and refined in the last few years is a different silhouette entirely. And the reason it's worth your attention is structural. It was designed around face framing first. The modern shag cut for mature women uses what's called a cascade layer system. The shortest layers sit at the crown, about 2 to 3 inches, and they graduate in length as you move outward and downward. That cascade means the weight is distributed through the whole length of the hair, not sitting on the shoulders like a heavy shelf. For women with fine or medium density hair at 60 plus, this redistribution of weight is the difference between hair that looks flat and hair that looks alive. The curtain bangs are the other half of this cut, and they're doing something specific. They part at the center, sweep softly down toward the cheekbones, and stop before the jaw. That V-shape draws the eye inward and downward, toward the nose and eyes, which frames the face without crowding it. This is the opposite of a heavy blunt bang, which sits across the forehead and shortens the face vertically. Curtain bangs open the face. They add softness at the temples, which is exactly where we tend to thin out first. The fix to take into your salon. Ask for a shag cut with cascade layering, shortest layer at the crown graduated out. Request curtain bangs cut to cheekbone length, point cut, not blunt. Important: no razoring on the bangs. A razor cut bang is beautiful when hair is thick and young. On finer mature hair, razored bangs separate into thin wisps. Scissors point cut. That's the ask. The snapback. Women who've made this change describe people telling them they look lighter. That's the word that comes up over and over. Not younger, specifically lighter. More open. The face reads as less weighted down, which at 60 plus translates exactly as that decade younger effect you're after. Maintenance on the shag is 4 to 6 weeks, and the curtain bangs need attention every 4 weeks to stay in shape. Don't let them grow past the cheekbone, or they lose the framing geometry that makes them work. For styling, diffuse dry at the roots first, then use a wide barrel brush only on the bangs to sweep them into shape. Leave the rest to air dry into its natural movement. Overworking a shag flattens the cascade. The goal is controlled movement, not set perfection. Now to the layered lob, which is probably the single most versatile cut on this list, and also the one most commonly worn wrong. The lob, the long bob sitting somewhere between the jaw and the collarbone, is the default cut for a lot of women over 50. And worn incorrectly, it flatly adds years. The problem isn't the length. It's the shape inside the length. An unlayered lob, or one with heavy one-length perimeter and no internal movement, creates a frame around the lower face that anchors attention exactly where most of us don't want it. At the jaw, the jowl, the neck. The layered lob fixes this by doing 2 things simultaneously. First, face framing pieces. Longer, softer pieces cut at an angle to sweep forward toward the cheekbones. Pull attention upward. Second, interior layers at the back and sides create lift and body through the mid-lengths, so the hair isn't sitting flat and weighted against the face. The lob becomes a framing device instead of an enclosure. Here's what to tell your stylist, word for word. I want a lob with face framing pieces angled toward my cheekbones, not toward my jaw. I want internal layers for body, no thinning shears, and I want the perimeter point cut so the ends stay full. That's it. That's the whole instruction. The before/after swap. Going from a blunt, unlayered lob sitting flat against the face to a layered lob with face framing pieces sweeping forward. The contrast in the mirror is immediate. The face opens. The jawline softens visually. The whole silhouette feels lighter, and lighter at this stage reads directly as younger. These 2 cuts, the shag and the layered lob, cover most of the mid-length territory, but part 3 goes somewhere different. Into the specific question of what to do when your hair is thinning, and the cut that actually solves it instead of just managing it. Haircut 5. The volume-engineered bob/haircut 6. The Softwave medium cut. Most women dealing with thinning hair at 60 plus are told to go short. It's the default advice. And it's not wrong, but it's not the full story either. The real conversation isn't about length. It's about engineered volume, and there's one bob variation built specifically around it. The volume-engineered bob, sometimes called an A-line bob or a graduated bob depending on how the layers are placed, is cut with one deliberate structural principle: shorter at the back, gradually longer toward the front. That graduation isn't just for shape. It's a technique that forces the hair at the back to stack and sit outward, creating density and volume at the crown and nape precisely because the interior lengths push against each other. Here's what makes this different from a standard bob. The stylist cuts the interior sections using a technique called overdirection. They pull each section slightly away from the head, upward, before cutting. When the hair returns to its natural fall, those shorter interior lengths push the surface layers outward and create lift. On fine hair, this manufactured volume is the difference between a head of hair that reads as thin and one that reads as full. The specific ask for your salon visit: I want a graduated bob, shorter in the back, longer toward the front, with over-directed interior layers to build volume at the crown. No sinings chiefs. I want the nape tapered with a scissor over comb. That last part, scissor over comb at the nape, matters. A razor or clipper taper on fine white or silver hair can leave the nape looking almost translucent. Scissors give you a softer, denser finish. The snapback on this one is something a client of mine described perfectly once. She'd been wearing her hair flat-dried for years, pressing it down against her head because she was embarrassed by how sparse it looked at the crown. After the graduated bob with over-directed layers, she said she felt like her hair had come back. That's the language women use for this. Not that it looked different, that it came back. Styling this cut at home takes about 4 minutes. Section the crown separately. Apply a volumizing mousse, not a spray mousse, root to mid-length only. Blow-dry the crown section upward and slightly back with a paddle brush. Let the rest air dry or rough dry with a diffuser. The structure of the cut does the heavy lifting. You're just supporting it, not creating it from scratch every morning. Now the Softwave medium cut. This is the one I want women to know about who've been told their wavy hair is too hard to manage as they've gotten older. That's a styling problem, not a hair problem. And this cut solves it at the structural level. The Softwave medium cut sits between the chin and the collarbone. It's designed around naturally wavy or lightly curly hair, the texture that a lot of women over 60 start to develop as their hair changes, even if they had straight hair their whole lives. Hormonal shifts in our 50s and 60s genuinely change the hair shaft's shape, which is why so many women find their hair getting wavier or developing new texture. This cut works with that instead of against it. The technique here is called curl-specific layering. Your stylist cuts the hair dry, not wet, so they can see exactly how your wave pattern falls and where it wants to sit. Cutting wet hair that's actually wavy is a common source of the uneven, poofy result that makes women give up on their natural texture. Dry cutting respects the curl's natural drop and builds layers that release the wave rather than fight it. The result is a medium length that has real movement, real character. Not product-engineered waves, but the hair's actual pattern, just working with a shape that flatters it. Women with this cut consistently get asked if they've changed their color. They haven't. The texture catching the light differently with proper layers just reads as richer, more dimensional color. Ask for a curl-specific or wave pattern dry cut, layers built around your natural curl drop, perimeter left slightly longer, so the wave has room to spring up without going short. No diffuser if your wave is loose. Air dry is almost always better for a soft wave. Just a light curl cream on soaking wet hair before you leave the shower, scrunched in, then hands off. Part 4 is the last cut, and it's the one I've saved specifically because it's the most misunderstood and the most dramatic. If you've been thinking about one big change, this is the one to see first. Haircut 7, the face-framed long layer cut. There's a myth that lives comfortably inside most beauty conversations about women over 60, and it goes like this. Long hair ages you. Cut it shorter, and you'll look younger. Most hairdressers have said some version of it. Most magazines have printed it. It's also not automatically true, and this cut is the proof. The face-framed long layer cut is the 7th haircut on this list, and it's the one that challenges the assumption most directly. Long hair doesn't age you. Long hair worn without the right internal structure ages you. The difference is specific, fixable, and it starts with understanding what's actually happening when long hair reads as matronly. Here's the real mechanism. When long hair is worn with no internal layers, or with layers that all fall backward away from the face, the weight of the hair drags the silhouette downward. Combined with any natural softening in the lower face, that downward drag amplifies exactly what we're trying to minimize. The face disappears inside the hair instead of being framed by it. The face-framed long layer cut solves this with two structural moves working together. First, face-framing pieces, cut at an angle starting at the cheekbone and sweeping forward. These pieces don't fall alongside the face. They fall slightly in front of it, toward the camera, toward whoever is looking at you. That forward angle lifts attention straight to the eyes and cheekbones. Second, the internal layers are built so the weight sits at the mid-length, not at the ends. This gives the hair body through the section between the ear and the shoulder, where you want it, rather than pooling as heaviness at the bottom. Here's the stylist language that actually gets you this result. I want long layers, but I want the face-framing pieces to be cut forward, not backward, toward my cheekbones. Then I want internal layers for body through the midsection, not thinning from the perimeter. Keep the ends full. The cut forward instruction is the critical one. Most stylists default to sweeping layers backward unless you specify otherwise. Forward cut face frames and backward swept face frames are completely different results. The snapback moment with this cut tends to be visible in photos first. Women who've made this change often notice it when they see a picture of themselves, not just a mirror reflection. The face framing pieces catch light in a way that a flat, unlayered length never does. You see actual dimension in the hair, not just color but shape and shadow and highlight. That dimensional quality is what reads as vitality. It's what reads as a decade younger. Here's the real talk version of the before and after swap. Going from long hair worn all one length, heavy flat, falling straight around the face, to this cut with forward face frames and internal body layers. The same length of hair, the same color, completely different result. Women have been told to cut their hair for 30 years when what they actually needed was for someone to change where the weight was placed. Maintenance is every 8 to 10 weeks, and that's one of the arguments for this cut if you're attached to your length. It grows out well because the layers are built into the interior structure, not at the perimeter. The ends stay fuller longer. The face framing pieces need a slight trim every 6 weeks if you want the forward angle to stay sharp, but if you let them grow another centimeter, they just extend the frame rather than losing it. Styling at home. Rough dry to about 80%. Then use a large round brush only on the face framing pieces. Sweep them forward and slightly under. The rest of the length can air dry or diffuse. The key is directional attention on those front pieces. They're the engine of the whole cut. When they're sitting right, forward, light catching, angled toward the cheekbone, everything else reads correctly. That's all 7 completely different structural approaches, each one solving a specific visual problem that most women have been managing instead of actually fixing. The one thing every single cut on this list has in common. The fix isn't more product, it isn't a new color, it isn't a treatment. It's shape. The right shape changes everything, without changing anything else at all. Haircut elements that apply across all 7. You can pick any one of these 7 cuts and walk into a salon tomorrow. But there's a layer underneath all of them, a set of principles that determines whether a cut actually performs once you're living with it day to day. Knowing these doesn't just make the cut better, it makes the cut last. The first one is the consultation language problem, and it's more significant than most women realize. Stylists are visual people. They process a description like, I want more volume or I want it to look younger, and translate it through their own training and assumptions, which may or may not match yours. The cuts in this video have specific technical names and specific instructions for a reason. The more precise your language at the consultation, the more accurately the cut is built. So if you're going in for the layered lob, you use the words, face framing pieces angled toward cheekbones, interior layers for body, no thinning shears, point cut perimeter. If you're going in for the shag with curtain bangs, you say, cascade layering from crown outward, curtain bangs to cheekbone length, scissors not razor, point cut. Every cut on this list has a set of instructions inside the script above it. Write them down. Take them with you. That single habit changes the outcome dramatically. The second principle is about the relationship between texture and age. And it's the one stylists almost never explain. As estrogen levels change through our 50s and 60s, the hair shaft's diameter often changes. It gets finer. Finer hair isn't thinner hair necessarily, but it behaves differently under a cut. It's more sensitive to weight. A single overlayered section can go flat and stringy where a thicker strand would stay buoyant. This is why every cut in this video specifies no thinning shears and, where relevant, point cut finishing instead of blunt or razor. Those aren't just stylist preferences. They're structural decisions that protect the way finer mature hair sits and moves. When you go to a stylist who doesn't know this, you can end up with technically correct layers on the wrong technique, and the cut dies in 3 weeks. The third principle is what I call the lighting test, and it's something I started recommending after a conversation with a colorist friend a few years ago. Before you commit to a cut, or before you go in for a refresh on a cut you've been wearing for a while, take a photo of yourself in natural daylight, not bathroom light, not the blue overhead light of your kitchen. Natural morning or afternoon light. Look at where the shadows sit on your face. Where does light land first? Where does it drop away? The cut that's right for you at this stage of your life should be directing light toward the highest points of your face. The cheekbones, the brow, the eyes. Not pooling in the jaw or neck area. If your current cut is doing the latter, the shadow tells you before the mirror does. The fourth principle is maintenance timing, and it's more strategic than most women treat it. Every cut on this list has its own natural lifespan. The textured French bob and the soft pixie need attention every 6 to 8 weeks because the structure is tight. When it grows, it changes shape quickly. The face-framed long layer and the Softwave medium cut can stretch to 8 to 10 weeks because the layers are distributed through the interior and grow out more gracefully. Knowing your cut's window means you stop waiting until the hair looks bad before booking. You book ahead of the deterioration, and the cut looks its best consistently, not just the first week after the salon. The fifth principle is the color interaction most women aren't told about. If you're color treating your hair, whether that's covering gray, doing highlights, or anything else, your cut and your color need to work from the same plan. A cut with face framing pieces should have color that's slightly lighter at those exact pieces. Not a full highlight job, just a tone or two lifted at the strands that frame the face. Why? Because the framing pieces do their structural job by catching light. If they're darker than the surrounding hair, the eye doesn't follow them upward the way they're supposed to. This is the interaction most women discover by accident. They get the right cut, but the color placement is working against the structure. Talk to your colorist after your cut, or better, bring both into the same appointment, and ask specifically about face frame brightening. 3 to 5 strands per side, lifted slightly. The result is that the cut performs at its full potential rather than at half of it. The sixth and final principle is the one that doesn't fit neatly into any of the 5 above, and yet it might matter most. It's trust. Specifically, trust in the relationship with your stylist. Every one of these cuts depends on communication. You explaining what you want in specific language, your stylist explaining what they're doing and why, both of you looking at your actual face and deciding together. If you're in a salon relationship where you sit down, someone cuts, and you leave, without dialogue, without consultation, without being shown what they're doing, you're not getting the full value of any of these cuts. The best technical hairdresser in the world can't give you the right result without knowing what you're actually after. A good stylist asks, and a good client, which you now are, because you have the language, answers precisely. These 7 cuts, these 6 principles, the language you take into that room. That's the complete picture. And the picture is a good one. You came into this knowing something felt off. You're leaving with 7 specific cuts, the technical language to ask for them, and an understanding of why each one works structurally, not just aesthetically. That's a different kind of knowing. That's the kind you take into the salon and actually use. Now tell me, of the 7 cuts we covered, which one made you stop and think, that's mine? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Next week I'm covering the 5 styling mistakes that undo even the best haircut, because the cut is only half the equation. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.